Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests. My name is Iyad Abu Mughli. I'm the director of the Faith for Earth Coalition of the United Nations Environment Program. It is with great pleasure and honor, and on behalf of the Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Program, Ms. Inger Anderson, and myself, I welcome you to the launch of Al-Mizan, Covenant for the Earth. Today marks a significant milestone in our collective journey towards environmental sustainability and governance, multilateralism, and actions towards tackling the planetary crisis of climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. As we gather to introduce this groundbreaking initiative, Al-Mizan, meaning balance in Arabic, it is a testament to the collaboration and dedication of scholars and organizations from across the globe, facilitated by the Faith for Earth Initiative Coalition and with lead institutions including the Islamic World Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, ISISCO, Islamic Foundation for Ecology and Environmental Sciences, IFES, Üsküdar University in Turkey, Hamad University in Qatar, the Botanic Quranic Garden in Qatar, Inaq al-Ard, and the Muslim Council of Elders. This covenant we are launching today has been crafted with care and with wisdom under the leadership of Mr. Fazlun Khalid, one of the co-lead authors, and Mr. Uthman Lowlin, the other co-lead author, along with 10 other scholars and environmental activists forming the drafting team. The inception of Al-Mizan dates back to 2019, following the adoption of the Rabat Declaration on the promotion of cultural and religious roles in the protection of the environment and achieving sustainable development by the 8th Council of Islamic Ministers for the Environment. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me first to call two of the co-authors, Ms. Aisha Abdullah, founder of Inaq al-Ard, and Mr. Uthman Lowlin, member of the IUCN World Commission on Protected Areas and World Commission on Environmental Law, to introduce the Islamic concepts explained in Al-Mizan and how they contribute to the global efforts in tackling the environmental challenges of today. The floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters of all faith, I would like peace be upon you. I would like to express my gratitude for being invited to this event and to be chosen as one of the speakers. This event brings together people from many umam. Umam means in Arabic nations, peoples, and communities on the earth. The Quran describes that, O humankind, we have created you, male and female, and made you people and tribes, that you may know one another. Most noble of you in the sight of God are they who have most reverential care. We are here to get to know each other and to learn from each other. The Quran also describes the countless species of living animals with whom we share this earth as umam, peoples, nations, or communities like ourselves. There is no animal that moves on the earth, nor any bird that flies its wing, but is a community like yourselves. We are obliged to treat them all with care, compassion, and to strive to do the utmost good. Specialists in ethics are often urged us to take larger, long view when framing moral positions. And that is extremely important. But I would like to point out that the smaller views should not be forgotten. The Lord of all beings warns us in the Quran that on the day of resurrection, whoever has done an atom's weight of good shall see it, and whoever has done an atom's of evil shall see it. The Arabic word for atom is darra, as expressed in these verses. Also means the smallest of ants, among the smallest forms of life that can be seen by human eyes. Both meanings imply that the Lord of all beings will try us and judge us in our treatment of the most minute created beings. No being is without significance. Each creature, no matter how insignificant it might appear to us, is a creature of God, a sign of Him who has created it. Each is a world that will never be repeated, and that reveals the transcendence glory of its maker. Nothing is created in vain, all are created for right. We must therefore treat none wantonly and take no life except for right. Secondly, I'd like to say that human beings have enormous ability to do both good and evil. With ability comes responsibility. Human responsibility on earth, khilafa or istikhlaf fil ard, is realized largely by avoiding and averting actions that cause corruption, fasad, in it. As we are told in the Quran, do not spread corruption in the earth after it has been so well ordered, and call for Him in fear and hope. Surely the mercy of God is near to those who do utmost good. I'd like to conclude by noting that the Quran tells us that devoted servants of all merciful and those who walk gently on the earth.
Sid Othman.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Brothers and sisters in humanity, sisters and brothers in faith, may the peace and blessings of God enfold you. As lead author of Al-Mizan, along with Sheikh Fadlun Khalid and my wife Aisha, who just spoke, I would like to share with you a few of the fundamental values that informed our drafting of this treatise. The unutterably glorious, vast and glorious cosmos reflects the all-transcendent glory of God, the all-sustaining Lord of the worlds of being that extend beyond our grasp. In its heart, this earth, with its evanescent community of life, of which we are a part. I see we still have electricity here, even if we have no light. MashaAllah. I even have light, inshallah. MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khair. In its heart, this earth, with its evanescent community of life of which we are a part, is exquisite beyond all telling and more precious than mortal human beings can comprehend. For it too reflects the grace and mercy of the Lord of all. Each thing that God has created is a sign of His power, wisdom, and grace, and we seek insight, understanding, and guidance from these signs. He has unfolded all things in balance with one another, in need of one another, and all support and benefit one another. Nothing is created wantonly or in vain. All are created in truth and for right, bil-haq. And each has rights, huquq, on us, that we care for it in reverential awe, taqwa, for its Lord, in compassion, rahmah, unwithheld, and in utmost beauty and good, ihsan. To serve the Lord of all by working utmost good is the deepest and highest purpose of our lives. For God created death and life to try you, which of you work most good. خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. The word Al-Mizan, the title of our treatise, means balance, equilibrium, and reciprocity. The Quran describes all beings as balanced and integrated in interconnected and interdependent equilibrium, dynamic equilibrium. And the earth, we have spread it out and cast in it mountains standing firm and grown in it all things in balance. And we have provided in it sustenance for you and for those whom you do not support. This cosmic balance is associated in the Quran with equity, fairness, and justice. Now, we Muslims hold that the oneness of God is the basis of our faith. What does that mean? The affirmation of God's oneness, tawheed in Arabic, has many dimensions, but its most essential moral implication is the obligation to serve the Lord of all beings by doing the greatest good one can to all his creatures. If we recognize that God is the one and only Lord of all created beings, then we must know that devotion to God requires goodness toward the entire creation. To exclude any being from moral consideration violates the principle of Tawheed, one God. Now, the implications of putting this principle into practice are immense. It means that one cannot ethically make one's ultimate aim the welfare of less than the whole community of life. Can we aim at the exclusive well-being of our own nation and presume that this will not hurt other nations? Can you aim at the well-being of men or man and presume that this will not discount or degrade women? Can you aim at the well-being of the wealthy and presume that this will lead to the welfare of the poor? Trickle-down theory, it's called in some quarters. Can you aim at the well-being of the present generation and presume that this will not deprive the coming generations of their rightful inheritance? Can you aim at human well-being and presume that this will not devastate the myriad other species with whom we share this earth? Governments and economies are largely run by people who hold precisely these presumptions, but they are not compatible with the loving service of one all-merciful God, Lord of all beings. Now, to grasp the gravity of this, let us consider, why do we recoil from calls for loyalty or allegiance to, say, Aryans, or whites, or Arabs, or Americans, or any other national or ethnic or religious group? Even when I hear a call for good to all humanity, I cringe. I cringe because it aims at less than the good of all beings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thank you, Sidi Aisha and Sidi Fazloon, for introducing these Islamic concepts which resonate with international norms on the values that are deeply needed to be adopted in addition to policies, science, and technology in tackling environmental challenges of today. And we are blessed by God's science now, pouring on the occasion of the launch of Al-Mizan, alhamdulillah. As we embark on this momentous occasion, we are privileged to have distinguished speakers who will share their perspectives and insights on the importance of Al-Mizan and its implications for our shared future. I welcome Her Excellency Minister Laila bin Ali, Minister of Energy Transition and Sustainable Development of Morocco, who also serves as the President of UNIA 6, where we're gathering today and this week to provide us with her perspectives as a global leader of the highest level environmental policy making body, the United Nations Environment Assembly. Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear scholars. It's really, really my privilege today to be present with you at this esteemed and diverse gathering for the launch of Al-Mizan, Covenant for the Earth, and really at a very opportune and very nice auguring times where God is pouring a lot of water, much needed water on us. So it's really a privilege to do that. And allow me to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the team of scholars whose unwavering dedication over the course of several years, and I have to say, if not more than 1,400 years, has culminated in the realization and completion of Al-Mizan. And the profound expertise in both Islam and ecology, coupled with the extensive consultations that you led, involving more than 300 individuals and institutions, have enriched this pivotal work. And I really wish to express our sincere appreciation for the supporting institutions, including UNEP, of course, and its Faith for Earth Coalition, and for their invaluable assistance in facilitating this historic undertaking. Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to extend our unconditional support for Al-Mizan, a Covenant for the Earth, authored by esteemed Muslim environmentalists and Islamic scholars. And this groundbreaking document offers, how we like to say it in the Kingdom of Morocco, an Islamic and very modernist perspective on the pressing environmental crisis confronting our planet. The Kingdom of Morocco's backing of Al-Mizan is rooted in its long-standing commitment to promoting Islamic values, environmental conservation, and interfaith dialogue under the leadership of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, Commander of the Believers, Amir al-Mu'mineen. The nation's diverse religious landscape, encompassing Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, and two of these religions are mentioned in our Constitution, underscores our dedication to peaceful coexistence between different faith communities. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen and excellencies, to cite a few initiatives like the Mohammed VI Foundation of African Ulema that strive to promote religious moderation and interfaith dialogue domestically and internationally. We have esteemed institutions like the University of Al-Qarawiyyin in Fez, the oldest university globally, that demonstrates Morocco's dedication to advancing Islamic scholarship while preserving its rich heritage. Morocco also has the pleasure to host in Rabat the headquarters of the Islamic World Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, l'ICESCO, of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And we, also launched, and I'm very proud of that as Minister of Energy Transition and Sustainable Development, the Green Mosque Initiative to cultivate environmentally conscious practices within mosques nationwide with energy-efficient technologies, renewable development programs, the reduction of water consumption, and circular waste management and economic circularity. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Morocco's support for Al-Mizan mirrors its commitment to Islamic principles that were already cited by our esteemed scholars, such as At-Tawheed, Wal-Khilafa, Wal-Rahma, Wal-Mizan, as a balance, as a guiding principle for living in harmony with nature. This deeply resonates with Morocco's deep-rooted culture and deeply resonates with UNEA's spirit and vision. This can only, we think, in UNEA, only inspire a collective dedication to sustainable development. Al-Mizan, a covenant for the earth, Ahd min ajil ard, perfectly aligns with global efforts to tackle the triple planetary crisis. And we are really grateful that it acknowledges the severity of the current crisis, including pollution, including climate change, including biodiversity loss, nature, and also the injustice in sharing the sources of life. By calling for collaboration among nations and communities, Al-Mizan also supports our core mandate in UNEA, the idea that multilateralism is key to tackle global issues, reflecting a shared responsibility of our planet. Al-Mizan critically addresses social issues such as justice and equity and advocates a more sustainable economic model that respects health of planet Earth, environmental health, and ensures fair resources distribution as opposed to prevailing economic paradigms that prioritize growth and consumerism. So, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, rest assured that Al-Mizan will be embraced by Islamic and international organizations to advocate for ethical consumption, ethical production, waste reduction and management, water conservation, biodiversity protection, all of which are so relevant today and indispensable to achieve sustainability. I am really thrilled to witness the historic launch of Al-Mizan, Covenant for the Earth, a comprehensive framework for addressing environmental challenges from an Islamic perspective, a religious perspective, while also aligning with global broader efforts to confront, one, the planetary crisis, but also two, to advance multilateralism at the time where we need trust in multilateralism. So for this, I present to all of you our most sincere gratitude. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for these remarkable remarks and responses to the actual implementation or impact of the role of Islam in environmental governance and multilateralism. And of course, thank you for taking such a precious time of your obligations during UNEA to be with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, Al-Mizan is not the first, and I hope it's not going to be the last ethical and religious covenant that address environmental issues. In 2015, His Holiness Pope Francis launched Laudato Si, Care for Our Common Home, encyclical that has been a driving force for many believers to engage in fighting climate change and other environmental issues. I'm delighted to invite His Excellency Bishop Hubertus Van Meegen, the permanent representative of the Holy See, to UNEP, Kenya and South Africa to offer his insights from the perspectives of the Holy See on the significance of the faith-based initiatives in environmental conservation. Please.
Your Excellency Minister Leila Ben Ali, Minister of the Environment of the Kingdom of Morocco and President today also here of UNEA 6, Dr. Iyad Abu Mugli, Director of the Faith for Earth Coalition with the United Nations Environment Programme. Your Excellencies, dear colleagues, people of goodwill, Salam Alaikum, ومساء الخير لكلهم. All protocols observed. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be with you here today at the launch of this important document, Al-Mizan, the Covenant for the Earth. And it is truly an honor to share this platform with eminent representatives of that immense and pluriform Islamic world, like Mrs. Aisha Abdullah, founder of Anik al-Art, and Mr. Uthman, member of the IUCN World Commission on Protected Areas and World Commission on Environmental Law, who are presenting the many other scholars who contributed to the drafting of this important document. I would, of course, like to recognize in a special way Dr. Iyad Abu Mughli, the director of the Faith for Earth Coalition within the United Nations Environment Programme, who works so tirelessly, as he does today, for a continuous involvement of the faith-based institutions in the dialogue with UNEP and the United Nations for the protection of our common home. Al-Mizan, it was mentioned a few times already, which means the balance, refers in the first place to a balanced and equitable approach of nature, as Surah 55.7 says, and in the sky he raised it and set up the balance, the Mizan. He set up the balance so that you do not exceed it. The document, while deeply rooted in the spiritual teachings of Quran, finds a delicate balance between faith and reason, showing believers that religion does not limit science, but gives science the vigor and beauty for those who believe in God. Al-Mizan, therefore, is not only about a balanced and equitable approach to nature, but even in its very method is also a beautiful witness to a balanced dialogue between faith and reason. These two do not exclude each other, as sometimes is taught, but rather they are complementary to each other, as the document abundantly shows. Al-Mizan, in addition to that, strikes another balance, namely the balance between the Islamic world on the one hand and the Christian, or more precisely, the Catholic world on the other hand. In many ways, Al-Mizan is the Islamic equivalent to Laudato Si, the encyclical of Pope Francis, and more recently to Laudate Deum, a follow-up document to Laudato Si. Al-Mizan, though building entirely on its own profound and proud Islamic tradition, resonates in many ways the teachings of Laudato Si. In fact, I would like to invite all of you to read them in tandem as they raise together a harmonious song of praise to God, who is the creator of the universe. The harmony and the interdependence between the two documents should come as no surprise, as both Muslims and Christians are descendants of Abraham, inspired by the same principles of dedication to the one God, differently expressed in distinct faith traditions. However, even the faith of Abraham in the one God was reinforced by the witness of creation itself. Is it not true that our forefathers in times past, even before the appearance of the first prophets, already believed in a divine presence as they were contemplating creation, the sun, the moon, and the stars? They recognized the presence of God in the myriads of stars in heaven, and in the rolling of the thunder, and in the roaring of the sea. And even today, contemplating those same mighty phenomena, like the rain and the thunder we witness now, we are all struck with awe and wonder, contemplating the power of nature. Saint Francis, maybe the greatest saint of the Catholic Church, wrote a song about it, and he opens with the following words: "Praised be you, my Lord, with all your creatures, especially Sir, Brother, Sun, who is the day through whom you give us light. Praised be you, my Lord, through sister moon and stars. In the heavens you have made them bright, precious, and fair. Praised be you, my Lord, through brothers wind and air, fair and stormy, all weathers moods, by which you cherish all that you have made." Or as Quran would say, "Have you not seen that all that is in the heavens and in the earth proclaims the glory of God?" Saint Francis was inspired by the beauty of creation, in which he recognized a reflection of the Creator, the Rabb al-Alamin. He speaks of sun and moon, of wind and air as brothers and sisters, implying that we are all family of that same creation, our common home. The Song of St. Francis starts with these Italian words, Laudato Si, from which Pope Francis, his namesake, took inspiration. Dear friends, let us then be ever more aware of our shared vocation to be stewards, to be Khalif fil Ard, and keeping the right balance, Al-Mizan, in our approach to a common home, Baytana, the precious gift of God. Shukran yazilan.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and I would like to reciprocate the gratitude to you personally and through you to the Holy See and the Vatican, who we have had a tremendous and important partnership. We held here in this premises the International Conference on Laudato Si in 2019, but more importantly, we held two important events last year. The High-Level Interfaith Leaders Summit in Abu Dhabi and the Faith Pavilion at COP28. And mentioning of which, I would like to mention that we have with us the Muslim Council of Elders, represented by Dr. Samir Boudinar, who is the Executive Director of Al-Hukama Center for Peace and Research in Morocco, who without this remarkable institution, the Muslim Council of Elders, we have not been able to organize these two important events. So we are forever grateful, and I do invite Dr. Samir for his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, thank you very much. Good afternoon. I will share with you my words in Arabic, and I think my colleague will gives you a translation or the English version of this word. Thank you. السيدات والسادة، يسعدني بداية أن أتوجه إليكم باسم سعادة الأمين العام لمجلس حكماء المسلمين المستشار محمد عبد السلام بالشكر الجزيل والتحية والتقدير على الدعوة الكريمة للحضور والمشاركة في هذا الحدث المهم، وأبلغكم اعتذاره عن عدم تمكنه من حضور هذا اللقاء بسبب التزامات عمل سابقة في برنامجه، رغم ما كان يحدوه من رغبة صادقة في الحضور. لمشاركتنا حدث إطلاق وثيقة الميزان، عهد من أجل الأرض، اليوم هنا في نيروبي. هذه الوثيقة التي كانت ثمرة مبادرة هامة انطلقت في إطار استراتيجية تعزيز دور العوامل الثقافية والدينية في حماية البيئة وتحقيق التنمية المستدامة، محاولة تقديم إجابة عن الكيفية التي يمكن للإسلام، هذا الدين العظيم الذي ألهم الحضارة الإنسانية قرونا طويلة، تمكنه من أن يكون اليوم وغدا قوة تسهم في تحقيق التنمية المستدامة برعاية البيئة التي استخلف الإنسان فيها وورثها أمانة عن أسلافه، فيحقق واجبه في الحفاظ عليها لمن يسكن بعده هذه الأرض، سفينة البشرية الوحيدة، ويرعى حق الأجيال القادمة من الأبناء والأحفاد في الاستفادة من المخلوقات عليها وتسخير إمكاناتها بنفس مستوى الحكمة والرشد. وإطلاق الميزان اليوم باعتباره عهدا من أجل هذه الأرض مع كل هؤلاء الشركاء يعكس جانبا آخر لأهمية الثقافة والدين في دفع التغيير السلوكي الذي هو مفتاح كل عمل بيئي، جنبا إلى جنب مع بقية الحلول العلمية والتقنية والنصوص القانونية والمبادرات المؤسسية والسياسات في مختلف مستوياتها. السيدات والسادة، لقد سعدنا في مجلس حكماء المسلمين بأن كنا ضمن شركاء كثر جزءا من هذا المشروع في مرحلة التشاور والاطلاع على الملاحظات، ليخرج اليوم بالصيغة التي بين أيدينا، حيث تولى فريق مركز الأبحاث التابع للمجلس مركز الحكماء لبحوث السلام مراجعة النسخة العربية منه. ونحن نعتبر أن تجربة التعاون هذه مع فريق الميزان تستحق الاستمرار والتوسع، خاصة بعد تجربة الشراكة مع تحالف الإيمان من أجل الأرض التابع لبرنامج الأمم المتحدة للبيئة في تنظيم جناح الإيمان خلال قمة الأمم المتحدة للأطراف الأخيرة في دبي كوب 28. وهو تعاون ينبع من رؤية مجلس حكماء المسلمين في العمل على كافة القضايا المؤثرة في السلم الإنساني بتعدد مجالاته، والتي دفعت المجلس إلى العمل على استلهام قيم الدين لتجديد دور العلماء والحكماء في التعامل مع مخاطر البيئة التي يتصدرها اليوم خطر التغير المناخي، وهي الرؤية التي كانت دافعا للمجلس نحو التعاون في هذا الملف، سواء في هذه الوثيقة أو في جمع قادة وممثلي الأديان عبر العالم يوم 6 و7 من نوفمبر الماضي بأبو ظبي في قمة خاصة من أجل المناخ، أو في الإشراف على جناح الإيمان أول مبادرة من نوعها في تاريخ قمم المناخ. ومجلس حكماء المسلمين بذات الروح ونفس الرؤية مستعد للتعاون مستقبلا للقيام بأدواره مع كل الشركاء عبر العالم في حفظ السلم البيئي الأولوية الملحة للسلام العالمي اليوم. السيدات والسادة، إن هذه اللحظة التي يجسدها إطلاق وثيقة تمثل الصوت الجماعي للمجتمع الإسلامي في قضايا البيئة ينبغي أن تكون في نفس الوقت منطلق مرحلة جديدة من العمل لدعم التوجهات المتضمنة في هذه الوثيقة، وهي تقتضي مزيدا من التعاون وتوسيع الشراكات مع كل الأصوات المدافعة عن صوت الإيمان ودور القيم الروحية والأخلاقية في تغيير الوعي والسلوك الإنساني، وزيادة مستوى المسؤولية تجاه البيئة والالتزام بالاستدامة. وهذا هو جوهر التزامنا المشترك، التزامنا جميعا اليوم وغدا من أجل مستقبلنا. شكرا لكامل فريق الميزان، عهد من أجل الأرض. شكرا لكم جميعا. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Samir, and thank you for the partnership and the prospects for future collaboration. Your Excellency, I know that your time is very tight and you need to leave, so feel free. We are very grateful for your words, for honoring us with the inauguration, and we will continue for 10 more minutes, but Your Excellency, you're excused to leave. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I would like then to turn to the floor and ask if there are any questions that the team or their excellencies can respond to from whether the media or from the attendees and participants. And by the way, we have, I think 5 minutes ago, uploaded the digital document on Al-Mizan website. It is almizan.earth. So this is the website address. You can download it. I know many of you environmentalists do not like hard copies, but we made few of them just to show the document. But you can download both the Arabic and English version. And we are working on translating Al-Mizan to many, many other languages. So it becomes an inspiration to all nations. Islam exists everywhere. So we need to reach out to everybody. So if anyone has a question, oh, please go ahead.
My name is Hassan. I'm an activist for conservation, environment, and peace. I do make policies and at times I regulate. My question and worry is, whatever has been preached here, said, and we have listened attentively, so am I. My question is simple, straight, and to the point. All people of the faith, those who are blessed with the Holy Scriptures, all understand and know what we are and where we are heading to. But my question is why there are so many differences. Is it the religious leaders or the leaders of the nation that are blending politics with the religion for their own personal benefits and gains? If such were not there, I don't think so. There will be a war between Ukraine and Russia, or Palestine, Gaza, or Israel, all would have been living in the same faith, with same cordial understanding and mutual prosperity for the world as well. So where is the problem and how we can solve it in Islam? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hassan. Anyone would like to respond, or should I offer my own response? Well, God created us different, and this is in the essence of Islam. In fact, God created us with different backgrounds, with different opinions, and then He asked us to consult. وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَ بَيْنَهُمْ. So, recognizing the differences, we can get together and we can discuss. We are in the premises of United Nations, a place where it brings different point of views, not only on religion or science or economy, but on different matters. I mean, you wouldn't, even in the Quran, and excuse me, I don't memorize the ayah, but it says if God wished, He would have created you all with the same understanding, all rich, all happy, all. But this is the type of creation. This is how God created us, different, but we can meet. شعوب وقبائل, to know one another and to work with one another. I hope I answered correctly, or I made a huge mistake. I don't know.
Well, I think it's true, but also I think you raised the question and you largely answered it yourself. Surely the guidance in the religions of the world, if everybody were following that beautiful guidance, we wouldn't be having all of these problems. But people's petty desires and the various forces of evil, these things are also active in the world. And we ask Allah for guidance to make our work right and to do the very best we can, the utmost good, to avert evil, to achieve good. Ihsan. May Allah give us success.
Yes, please, the lady at the back.
Hello, everyone. From where I come from, we stand a lot, so allow me to stand. My name is Zaha Indimuli. I'm the founder and CEO of an organization here in Kenya called Amali. We're around 2,500 young professionals, and then we work in the intersect between climate, health, crisis, and health. Well, considering the fact that we're sitting here in a religious setup, and thank you so much for also holding space for such a conversation, I speak for the voice of young people. And I'm looking at a situation whereby we're blessed to have a spectrum that is going from not only Muslims to Christians to Indians, and I believe all other religions are welcomed. Considering this is an area where we're having a lot of social media interventions, meaning even a majority of the cases around injustices are done on social media, what is the vision and prospect of having whatever we are discussing here being trickled down to the rest of the globe in a way that we are able to understand? Secondly, how are we looking at young people joining into these conversations and participating in that which we want to sell out? How are we inviting young people to be part of the decision making and to be part of the process as we continue to structure what this would look like? And how are we looking at, because again, our parents raise us with the beautiful structures and guidances that we get from our religion so that we can be able to be better teachers to our own children in the future. So considering the future generations and the future that we want for the world and for ourselves, how are we looking at having young people coming into this picture and in this spectrum to sell the same information in the dialect of correct guidance and correct love and unity for the globe at large?
Thank you very much. So it's about the participation of young people. Anyone would like to offer? Sidi Fazloon, also, you're welcome to offer your responses as well. Yeah, please go ahead.
Well, in the Mizan, as we just launched the things today, for example, we were discussing how we're going to promote the Mizan and becomes, actually takes place in the ground and so on. And the questions you raised, they are very valid and they are all in our minds in the Mizan and so on. about the young children and so on, I think, there are so many initiatives, some things that you can, just take these things and translate it within the frames that we have, the way you see your situation serves most, and so on. Experiential education with young children, I would highly, highly recommend. Theoretical speakings and so on, sometimes, we all know these kind of things, and it's not always theoreticals and experientials meet. So I would really encourage that, showing case things on the ground and involve them with hands and so on, things that they could see before and after how they're modifying things. That would be a start.
Thank you very much, Siti Aisha. And in addition to that, I invite you to look at the Faith for Earth Coalition website. We do have a Faith for Earth Youth Council, which brings young people, men and women from across the globe. From today, we have 12 religions represented in that youth council. So we do practice what we preach. The last question, if any. Yes, please, go ahead. The lady in the front.
Hello, my name is Ruqayya Ahmed. I'm an environmentalist from Kenya, as well as you just mentioned about the Faith for Earth Youth Council. I'm one of the co-chairs. You're all welcome. A question to the team. What significance will it be to, what significance will Al-Mizan be to people of other faith, and what is your call to people of other faith other than, this has more of Islamic concept, but how will you encourage people from different faiths? What is your message for them, and how can this be useful to them? Thank you.
If you look in the document of Al-Mizan, you'll see there are several areas in which we're calling upon not only Muslims, but people throughout the world to look at various issues and to work together to resolve them. So this includes everything from, say, the loss of biodiversity, climate change, loss of wildlands and wilderness, the problems in international relations and international conflicts. There's also a great opportunity for the activist groups among Muslims and other faith groups to work together. And I would refer you to Sheikh Fadlun, my co-author, and also to Sidi Kamran on our drafting team. They are looking very carefully at how to involve other faith groups as well as youth. And they are, through the organization IFIS, they are setting up these activities that will be coming out of Al-Mizan so that it isn't just a document of words on paper, inshallah ta'ala. Sheikh Fadlun, I think you already know him, but if you stand up for anybody to see, and also Sidi Kamran. Stand up, please. So these two gentlemen will be key to answer your questions better, I think, than anyone else.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I overlooked one person. Judy, are you there? I can see you. Oh, here, yeah, please.
My first question you've answered. My name is Judy Foster. I'm from Stop Ecocide International, and we are advocating for a fifth crime of ecocide to protect ecosystems and basically an international crime to, deal with the worst damage to the environment. And I'm very pleased to see ecocide referred to in this document. Thank you so much for that. And I guess originally I was going to ask, so what next with this document? But I think we as an organization will think about what we can do next with it. But maybe you can't answer it, but I'm kind of interested to know what was difficult in terms of and maybe it's these two gentlemen that can ask it. I'm kind of interested to know I'm sure some of it was really easy and some of it was like quite contentious. I was just curious to know how the process went.
Thank you very much. I believe His Excellency needs to leave. And no?
I was to comment.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, the last chapter of Al-Mizan does include a list of actions that we will take further in the future. But as well, on the 29th, in 2 days, we are going to have a deep dive into Al-Mizan document and talk about it. So I think it's going to be at 10 or 11 a.m., but we will re-advertise that. So if you please go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted also a bit to comment on what also Mr. Uthman said. The document, I read the document, and having myself lived for a long time in Islamic countries, I have to say, very moved by the document. I loved it. And also, as I also said a bit in my introduction, also in the balance between faith and reason. And you're not afraid to bring these two together. Sometimes in the world there's also a hesitation, even by believers, to really be witness of their faith within a more scientific context. But you were very courageous in that one. I really love that very much. Now, I also think, and that is also in this sense, that this document of Al-Mizan, and then also Laudato Si, is also a way where people of different faiths can come together. Many times, Christians, Muslims, Jews, there's always a thing of hands off. It's like a ritual dance. You dance around each other, but you don't touch each other, because that's out of the question. But here, in this document, and thinking about our common care for creation and our common interest in making this our common home and avoiding, as you mentioned, ecocide, that is what every human being can identify with. And these documents help us in understanding that better, and also the moral issues that are implied with it. Even the young lady was asking, what about the youth and how does that work? These documents help us understand also a bit on how does that work morally? What is good and evil in this? Huh? Up to 15, 20 years ago, we didn't think in those kind of terms. Basically, we used creation for whatever we wanted to. Now we started to understand creation has its own value. It has its own dignity, and we need to respect that and not use it for our own pleasure only. So I do think it is a document, Al-Mizan, which can bring people together in action for our common home. Yes.
Thank you very much for these wonderful remarks to close the launch of Al-Mizan. As I mentioned, Al-Mizan is already available online for download in Arabic and English. We have few copies here, so kindly, if you wish to have a hard copy, take one copy, because we don't have many. There's one in Arabic and one in English. So please, you're invited to have copies. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for these wonderful remarks. And congratulations for launching Al-Mizan. And I hope this is the first step in a long journey together with our sibling, Laudato Si, or sister, or brother, and other religions. And I tell you, we have been in discussion with other religions like Buddhism and Hinduism to put a covenant from their perspective. So inshallah, hopefully we will do that and bring more inter-religious dialogue and inter-religious understanding in the service of humanity and our planet. Thank you very much.